Okay, let's look at their internal audit records. They might be informative. Auditor is Miriam, aided by AI. Well, Miriam is internalizing a lot of this. Hey, it's a correctly completed audit matrix. Almost no one does these right. Good for Miriam. Let's see if she had any findings. 27 findings? Oh, but look, they're all about some documentation issue or something about the paperwork. She's internalized all of this. She wrote something up for being on the wrong letterhead, but she is in charge of the letterhead. It doesn't really have any effect on what happens in production or in the warehouse. Let's see what her rules are on how to correct this. Let's call it the corrective action procedure if there is one. This just echoes the clause of the standard. I want to know the trigger events that require her to issue a corrective action. Some of the companies require corrective action if there is a nonconformity. Here it is. It leaves the decision of whether a corrective action should be issued up to top management and also to define what timely means. Okay, is there a corrective action log or some other way these things are tracked? Well, I'm not shocked at this. 27 nonconformances written up in the internal audit, but only one corrective action? And no corrective actions written because of either returns or customer complaints. Once again, Miriam is internalizing all of this. Let's see what their process is for dealing with customer complaints. Is there a procedure on that? Here it is. Their definition of complaint is whether one of the customers has asked for formal documentation. They also expect the salesperson to handle as much of this as possible. That's not all bad, but there's no feedback mechanism into the rest of the organization to make anything better. Do you see the problem in that?
Yeah. There's an incentive to cover it up. That might avoid a confrontation but doesn't let the company deal openly with a problem.
Miriam again. You can see what was going through her mind.
What's that?
Everybody was keeping her in the dark. She changed the procedure at some point to let the salespeople deal with their own problems. Is there some kind of complaint log we can look at? Nothing. Just as I thought. But we know there are plenty of complaints and returns. Your MDR case is full of stuff. And in a lot of cases, there's not even an RMA issued. Do you see the problem in that? There is a problem with business control here. There's one more thing we haven't looked at. What are the company's quality objectives? Let's see what that looks like. On-time delivery and fallout. That's plausible. Let's see if we can find some data. Let's see. About 5 years ago, there was some kind of disaster. You all know what that was.
Yep.
It never really did get back to normal, and their response was to lower the objective. 85% on-time delivery means that roughly 1 out of every 6 shipments is showing up late. So they didn't do a good job of fixing their business. They may have had supplier issues. If they had issued a corrective action when they didn't meet their objectives, we will be able to find that out. There wasn't anything in their management reviews on any of this. Product quality? This coincided with bringing the bottling line. Do you see what happened? This place was running fine, but they took on the new product line without thinking it through, in my opinion. It's not my job as an auditor to write fiction, but sticking to the facts, they started running into quality problems a couple years ago, and there aren't any corrective actions or other documented actions to fix any of this.
I can see that.
Well, we only have enough data to be dangerous, but I can see what happened. Like I said, it's my job as an auditor to stick to the facts, and that's what I'll do. Let's have the closing meeting at 3:30. I have enough information for now.